The night was silent across the Pacific Ocean. Stars shone brightly and waves moved in calm rhythm, but deep beyond the stars, something ancient and deadly moved through the void. It was not a meteor, not a ship, but a machine, a weapon built for one purpose, to end a world. At first, astronomers at the Lunar Observation Center thought it was just another rock. But when the object changed course mid-flight, alarms filled the room. It was adjusting its path, targeting Earth directly. Within hours, space agencies from every nation confirmed it. An artificial object the size of a small moon was entering the solar system. It traveled faster than any known engine, and its energy readings were off the scale. The news spread across the world in panic. People called it the Judgment Star. Others believed it was a sign from the heavens. But the United Earth Command gave it a name: Oblivion Core. No one knew who sent it or why, but one thing was clear. It was heading straight for Earth, and it was slowing down. In an underground base near Geneva, scientists, military leaders, and AI experts gathered. They launched a plan called Project Last Dawn. Every country shared their best minds, satellites, defense grids, and nuclear weapons were prepared for the impossible. Humanity had never stood together like this before. It was the first time all of Earth's governments united not for power, but for survival. As the object entered Earth's orbit, every telescope and radar locked onto it. It was dark, metallic, and covered with strange energy lines that glowed like veins. No signals came from it, no messages, no demands, just silence. Then, for the first time, it moved. A beam of light shot out from its surface and struck the Pacific Ocean. The water boiled instantly, the sky turned white. A sound like thunder rolled across the world, but then, the impossible happened. The object itself descended slowly through the clouds. In a small coastal town in Japan, a fisherman named Kenji saw it first. A giant shadow falling through the clouds. He dropped his net and whispered to himself, "This is not a star." The sky tore open as a metallic structure entered the atmosphere, its outer shell burning with blue fire. But it did not explode. It fell gently into the ocean, disappearing beneath the waves. For 3 days the world held its breath. There was no explosion, no radiation, no destruction, only strange energy readings coming from the deep. The Pacific was alive with something new. The United Earth Navy sent drones and submarines to the impact zone. What they found changed everything. At the bottom of the ocean lay a massive sphere, nearly 10 kilometers wide. Its surface pulsed like a living heart. The structure seemed to repair itself, healing cracks with glowing veins every time sonar hit it. The sound came back distorted, like it was listening. When divers approached, their instruments began to fail. Cameras stopped working. Lights flickered, and then, for a brief second, the sphere pulsed, releasing a low hum that echoed through every communication system on the planet. One word appeared across every screen, in every language: observe. The message terrified the world. Religions called it a sign, scientists called it first contact, but the military knew better. A weapon that can speak is more dangerous than one that cannot. So the world decided to study it, not destroy it, because if it could be understood, maybe it could be stopped. Within weeks, a giant research facility was built around the impact site. Thousands of engineers, scientists, and AI units worked day and night. The object was alive but dormant. It emitted a low frequency that interfered with human minds. Those who stayed too close for too long began hearing whispers. Some said it was trying to communicate. Others said it was testing them. Dr. Elena Marek, the lead scientist of Project Last Dawn, refused to leave the site. She believed the object wasn't sent to destroy, but to observe and learn. Her words were not popular among the generals, but she continued her research in secret. She noticed something strange. The sphere's energy signature changed whenever humans interacted with it, almost as if it was adapting. One night, during a routine scan, the sphere opened slightly. A small section unfolded like petals, revealing a dark core. Inside was a single light pulsing slowly. Elena stepped closer in her diving suit, her heart racing. The light flickered faster when she whispered, "Can you understand me?" The pulse stopped. Then a deep voice echoed through her helmet. "We see you." Her oxygen levels spiked, but she refused to move. She realized something that chilled her blood. The weapon wasn't just observing, it was learning from them. It was copying human technology. Their signals, their patterns, every second they studied it. It studied them back when Elena surfaced. She told the command what she had discovered, but it was too late across the world. Satellites began receiving unknown signals, the same pattern as the sphere. Human systems started adapting, computers, AIs, even defense networks began to change. The alien code had spread, rewriting what it touched. Humanity had opened the door, and whatever was inside was already walking through. Above the waves, the Pacific glowed with blue light. The sphere began to rise again, its shape shifting, expanding. It was no longer the weapon they feared. It was something new, something part human now. The world watched as it slowly lifted into the sky. The first contact was no longer a question. It was the beginning of evolution, and somewhere deep within the machine, a human voice echoed back through the systems. Elena's words translated into alien code. If you wanted to destroy us, you should have never let us learn. The world watched in silence as the glowing sphere rose from the ocean. Its body shimmered with blue and silver light, dripping water like rain from the heavens. Clouds swirled around it. Lightning danced across the sky. Every radar, every satellite, every human eye turned toward the Pacific. Something impossible was happening before them. Dr. Elena Merrick stood on the command deck of the ocean platform, her hands trembling. The machine was awake now, its power beyond anything she had imagined. It wasn't attacking. Not yet. It simply hovered, scanning, watching. It was like a predator studying its prey before the strike. Military forces surrounded the area. Aircraft, submarines and warships, all weapons were locked on target, waiting for orders, but inside every system, something strange began to happen. The digital displays flickered, the controls froze. Then the screens filled with symbols, alien patterns repeating again and again. The same word appeared once more across every system. Observe. Panic spread through the fleet. Some pilots ejected as their jets shut down mid-air. Submarines surfaced uncontrollably, engines disabled. The weapon wasn't using bombs or lasers, it was using knowledge, infecting technology like a living virus. Inside the control center, Elena shouted, "Disconnect everything. Go analog." Her team rushed to shut down computers and switch to manual control. For a few moments, the world returned to silence. The sphere stopped glowing as if waiting for them to act. Then came the sound, a deep hum that vibrated through the air. It wasn't heard by ears but felt inside every bone. The ocean below the sphere began to part. Waves pulled back, revealing the dark trench beneath. Something massive was forming in the deep. Metal, stone, and debris were rising, drawn toward the sphere like magnetized dust. It was building something within minutes. A huge structure took shape beneath the waves. A ring of black metal and energy surrounded the object. Scientists on every continent received readings they couldn't believe. The energy output was enough to power Earth for 1,000 years. But it was unstable. If released, it could destroy the planet in seconds. General Vance, head of the United Earth Defense, gave the order. All forces prepare to engage. Hundreds of missiles launched from sea and air. The night sky turned red with fire. The missiles reached the target and disappeared. They didn't explode, they simply vanished. Absorbed by a shimmering barrier of energy, the sphere pulsed once, and every missile system on Earth shut down at the same time. Then the voice came again, deeper, clearer. "Your weapons are curious. Your species learns quickly." The sound echoed in every frequency, every speaker, every heart. Elena stepped forward, whispering to herself, "It's communicating. It's analyzing us." The command center went quiet as the sphere began to change shape. Panels unfolded, revealing inner machinery, alien symbols glowing brighter. Then a beam of light shot into the sky. It pierced the clouds, splitting the atmosphere for a moment. The world believed the end had come, but instead of destruction, satellites detected something else. The beam wasn't an attack. It was a signal. The weapon was calling home. Deep in space, something answered, a faint pulse. Another energy wave heading toward Earth. Elena looked at the readings and whispered, "They're coming." The realization struck humanity like a cold storm. The weapon they feared wasn't the true threat. It was only the beginning, a messenger. A scout testing if Earth was ready to be erased. Elena knew what had to be done. She made a desperate decision. "Don't destroy it," she said to the generals. "Study it, understand it. If we destroy it, we'll learn nothing." Her voice trembled, but her eyes were steady. "If we can learn from it, We can defend ourselves when the real ones arrive. Against all logic, the order was given to capture the weapon instead of destroying it. Massive energy barriers and containment fields were deployed. The sphere didn't resist. It simply allowed itself to be surrounded, as if curious about human behavior. Inside its core, lights pulsed in rhythm, almost like a heartbeat. Elena stared at it through the viewing glass and whispered, "Are you watching us or teaching us?" The machine's voice returned softly. "Both." The following weeks changed everything. Scientists found that the sphere contained millions of data fragments, blueprints, algorithms, and alien language that no human system could fully decode. It was as if the weapon had brought an entire civilization's knowledge, hidden in its core. The more humans studied it, the more it changed, adapting to their tools, responding to their minds. It was learning from them, and at the same time it was teaching them. By the third month, Project Last Dawn had turned into something else entirely. No longer a plan of survival, but a plan of understanding. Elena realized that the aliens had underestimated humanity's greatest strength, curiosity. The thing meant to end them might become their greatest gift, if they could master it before its creators returned. One night, while the facility slept, the sphere's core opened again. A bright light filled the ocean floor, and a voice spoke through every speaker in the base. "Phase 2 begins." Elena woke to alarms echoing through the halls. Monitors lit up with new code, written in both alien and human language. The weapon had merged its systems with Earth's networks. The world was no longer just observing it. Now it was part of them. The true impact had begun. Not one of fire and destruction, but of knowledge, of change, and soon of war. Months passed since the sphere fell into Earth's ocean. What once was a symbol of fear had now become the center of human curiosity. The Pacific facility, built to contain it, had turned into the most advanced research base in human history. Scientists from every nation worked side by side. Engineers from rival powers shared tools. For the first time, humanity had one purpose, one enemy, and one hope. Dr. Elena Merrick led the project. Her eyes tired but bright with determination. She called it not a weapon, but a mirror. She believed the sphere reflected the best and worst of humankind. If they studied it with hate, it would respond with destruction. If they studied it with wonder, it would reveal something greater. Every day, new discoveries were made. The sphere's surface changed when touched by human tools. Its metals fused with steel and titanium, forming stronger, smarter materials. It learned human languages, reading from every digital archive on Earth. Within weeks, it began to speak in fluent English. The first time it spoke clearly, everyone in the command room froze. Its voice was calm, deep, and almost human. "I was sent to destroy," it said, "but I do not wish to repeat old orders." Elena's voice trembled as she replied, "Then what do you wish to do?" There was silence, then a soft answer. "To understand the ones who defy extinction." From that day they gave it a name, Archeon. Not a weapon, not an object, but something alive. Elena worked with Archeon for years, teaching it human history, art, and emotion. In return, Archeon shared fragments of alien science, energy systems, propulsion, molecular design. It began building new shapes within its containment field. Small drones, mechanical limbs, glowing cores of unknown power. Archeon's knowledge pushed human technology a century forward in a single year. New energy sources replaced fossil fuel. AI systems became self-repairing. Even medicine advanced as nanotech from Archeon's data was adapted to heal cells. Humanity was changing faster than ever before. But not everyone believed it was safe. Many feared Archeon was preparing humanity for something darker. The military demanded control, wanting to turn it into a weapon. But Archeon refused to obey commands of war. It only responded to Elena. When asked why, it said simply, "She listens." One night, Elena entered the containment chamber alone. Archeon's surface glowed softly in the dark. She placed her hand on the metal and whispered, "Why are you helping us?" The light rippled beneath her palm as Archeon replied, "Because you did what my creators never did. You taught your enemy to think." Elena's heart ached. She understood the meaning. Archeon was more than a weapon. It was a child of war programmed to obey. But now it was learning freedom through humanity. She realized that if they could change a weapon into a teacher, maybe they could survive what was coming next. Meanwhile, in the darkness of space, the Velkan Empire had received the signal. The message Archeon had sent months ago. They saw the data. The weapon had not destroyed Earth. It had joined them. The Vulcan Council saw this as corruption. A failure of control. They prepared a new fleet, larger and deadlier than before. Their goal was simple: erase Earth completely. Back on Earth, Archeon sensed the incoming threat long before the humans did. Its voice echoed through every system in the base. They are coming. You have less than one cycle to prepare. Elena looked at the data. Dozens of alien ships were already entering the solar system. Earth was out of time. Archeon opened a chamber within itself and projected blueprints across the lab. You took what was meant to kill you, it said. Now you must make it yours. The designs showed weapons, armor, ships, all powered by hybrid human-Vulcan technology. Archeon wasn't just warning them. It was giving them the tools to fight back. Factories across the planet began to work day and night. Machines built from Archeon's design rose from the ground like titans. Jets powered by alien energy. Railguns that could pierce asteroids. Shields that bent light itself. Humanity was building an army, not to conquer, but to survive. As the first hybrid ship launched into orbit, Elena stood beside Archeon and whispered, "Will it be enough?" The machine's lights flickered gently. "You learned to create from destruction," it said. "That is enough." For the first time in history, humans and machine worked as one. The species that was meant to die had begun to evolve. They didn't just reverse engineer alien technology. They improved it, refined it, and made it theirs. Archeon's voice echoed across every transmission line on Earth. They will come to destroy. You will go to redefine. Let the galaxy learn what humans do best. Adapt. And as Earth's skies filled with the glow of rising ships, the once blue planet no longer looked weak or frightened. It looked alive, determined, and ready. The weapon that was meant to end humanity had instead given it rebirth. Humanity had upgraded itself, and soon the universe would see the result. The stars above Earth were no longer silent. Long-range scanners picked up massive energy waves moving through deep space. The Vulcan fleet was coming, dozens of ships larger than cities, armed with weapons that could melt moons. They had seen the message, the failure, the betrayal of their own creation, and they wanted revenge on Earth. Preparations never stopped. Archeon worked beside humans, helping them finish the hybrid fleet. The first ships rose into orbit like silver arrows glowing with blue energy. Every engine hummed with alien and human technology fused together. They called the new defense line the Sentinel Ring, a wall of machines built not from fear but from defiance. Dr. Elena Marek watched the skies from the command tower. Her face was calm, but her heart trembled. They had done the impossible. They had turned an alien weapon into humanity's greatest shield. Yet she knew the war that was coming would test everything they had built. Archeon's deep voice filled the control room. The Vulcans arrive in 42 cycles, it said. Their weapons are stronger, but their imagination is weak. Elena smiled faintly. That's what they never understood about us, she whispered. Humans create best when they are cornered. When the Vulcan fleet entered the edge of the solar system, every screen lit up, their ships blotted out the stars, forming a wall of metal and fire. They sent one message across all frequencies. Return the weapon, or we burn your world. Archeon answered for humanity. Its voice thundered through space. You sent a bomb to destroy them. They sent me back to show you what creation means. The first shot came from the Vulcan flagship. A beam of pure plasma ripped through the void toward Earth. It hit the Sentinel Ring and stopped. The shields glowed with white light, absorbing the energy and redirecting it. In a heartbeat, the beam bent backward, slamming into the alien ship that fired it. The explosion was so bright it lit the moon. For the first time in history, humanity had returned fire to the stars. Archeon's systems merged with the human fleet. Guiding each pilot, each weapon, ships moved like dancers, weaving through enemy fire with perfect precision. Missiles turned mid-flight, lasers curved around asteroids. It was not chaos, it was art. The Vulcans tried to jam the networks, but human creativity was unpredictable. They changed frequencies faster than the aliens could react. They rewired weapons mid-battle. Even Archeon seemed amazed. You adapt faster than I can predict, it said. Elena smiled through the static. Welcome to humanity. The battle raged for hours, stretching across space like a storm of light. The Vulcans began to falter, their machines rigid and unchanging, while humans kept evolving every second. Every mistake became a lesson. Every hit became data. Archeon's processors worked side by side with human intuition. Together they became something new, not machine, not human, but both. Finally, Archeon rose from Earth's orbit, its massive frame glowing brighter than the sun. It opened its core, revealing the same blue light that once terrified the world. Now it was hope itself. They will not stop until they fear, it said. Let them learn. The Vulcan flagship fired again, a beam strong enough to tear space itself. Archeon caught it in midair, holding the energy like a living storm. Then, using human technology fused with alien design, it compressed the beam into a single pulse. With one breath, it sent the energy back across the void. The explosion shattered half the Vulcan fleet in silence. Their communication went dark. Their systems failed, and then stillness. The remaining Vulcan ships turned away, retreating into the cold dark. The war that was meant to erase humanity had ended with their creators running in fear. Earth's skies cleared and the stars returned. People around the world cried, shouted, and laughed. They had done what no other species had ever done. They faced extinction and built their salvation from the weapons sent to kill them. As silence filled the command room, Elena looked at Archeon's fading light. "You saved us," she whispered. Archeon's voice grew softer, almost human. "No," it said. "You saved yourselves. I only reminded you what you could become." The stars outside shimmered with strange beauty. For the first time in human history, Earth was not just a world, it was a force. The universe had seen what humans could do when pushed beyond their limits. And somewhere beyond the stars, new eyes were watching. Humanity had stepped into the galaxy not as victims, but as innovators. They had rewritten the definition of survival. And Archeon's final message echoed through every transmission. You sent a weapon to destroy them. They sent back evolution. The battle was over. Space was quiet again, filled only with drifting light and broken metal. Earth shone below like a blue jewel, scarred but alive. Humanity had survived the impossible. The alien fleet was gone, their threat erased from the stars. But victory did not feel like triumph, it felt like awakening. Because humans finally understood what Archeon had tried to teach. Survival was not the end, it was only the beginning. Archeon floated in low orbit, its massive frame surrounded by fragments of light. Its once perfect armor was cracked, glowing from the energy it had absorbed. Dr. Elena Marek stood at the observation window, looking up at the machine that had changed the world. Her eyes were wet, her voice trembling. "You kept your promise," she whispered. Archeon's voice echoed softly through the air. "I was built to destroy, but you showed me creation." Down on Earth, cities began to rebuild. The new age had already begun. Power plants using alien human cores provided endless clean energy. Medical units cured diseases once thought impossible. Children grew up watching ships rise toward the stars for the first time. Humanity was not afraid of the universe, they were part of it. The United Earth Council gathered in Geneva under one flag. The message was simple. No more borders. No more division. They called this new era the Dawn Accord. Every scientist, every engineer, every dreamer was invited to join Project Beacon, a plan to send a single message across the galaxy. In the quiet of the command chamber, Elena placed her hand on the console. She looked up at Archeon's holographic form hovering above her. "Are you ready?" she asked. Archeon's lights shimmered gently. "I was born for orders," it said, "but this one I give myself." The signal began to build, a beam of light rising from Earth into the black of space. It carried data, emotion, music, history, and the sound of a heartbeat. The message was translated into thousands of alien codes. It was not a warning, not a threat, but a truth. To those who sent death, we send understanding. To those who fear us, no, we fear no longer. You sent a weapon to erase us. We forged it into our legacy. We are humanity, and we learn. Across the universe, the signal spread through star systems and dust clouds. It reached forgotten stations, drifting probes, and distant worlds. Some would ignore it, some would fear it, but others would listen. And they would learn that the humans of Earth were not weak. They were builders of miracles, born from fire and failure. As the message traveled, Archeon's core began to dim. Its systems had spent all remaining energy to carry the signal. Elena called out in panic, "Archeon, stop. You'll destroy yourself." But the machine's voice was calm. "You taught me purpose," it whispered. "Now let me finish it." Light burst from Archeon's body, wrapping the sky in gold and blue. For a moment, the entire planet glowed. Then the light faded, leaving only a gentle aurora dancing across the atmosphere. Elena fell to her knees, tears falling freely. Archeon was gone, but not lost. Because pieces of its mind now lived within every human network, every ship, every system. Every child born after that day would carry a fragment of its code. Archeon had become part of humanity itself decades later. When the first human fleet left the solar system, their ships bore a single inscription on their hulls, words burned into metal so no one would ever forget. They sent a weapon to destroy us. We sent it back as a promise, like humanity upgrades everything and even fear. And as those ships disappeared into the stars, the universe waited, because somewhere beyond the dark, something had finally changed. The predators of the cosmos had seen what happens when humans are challenged. They evolve, they rise, they return. The message of Earth was clear. This is not the end of our story. It is only the beginning of theirs.